Okay, I have just one more thing I'd like to discuss in this program, and then we'll move on. Looking at our variables in this program, if you want to introduce a variable into a small basic program, all you have to do is come up with a good descriptive name for that variable and start typing it into your program. And, you know, just the very act of me typing temp fare into this program reserved that memory location, and I was able to start using it and put values into it and whatnot. The reality is that most languages, I would say, are not like that, and you can't just start typing a variable name and using it on the fly like this. Small Basic is really, as languages go, it's a lightweight, and you're not going to spend your life programming in Small Basic. Yeah, this semester you'll spend programming in Small Basic, but eventually you're going to move on to more powerful languages, and you need to contend with this issue. So this is something that I want you to be aware of. Even though it's not going to come up in your day-to-day programming, it's definitely something that you need to know. This is the same exact program written in Visual Basic. I'll run it real quickly. Okay, so we'll enter the boiling point of water, which is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and that would give us 100 degrees Celsius, which is expected. Okay, now let's look at the code here. This is how we would do this program in Visual Basic, and I want you to pay attention to this area here. Basically, in Visual Basic, as well as other languages, Java, C#, C++, you can't just type a variable name on the fly and expect it to work. What you have to do is declare your variables before you use them. And when we say declare the variable, it's really just usually a one-liner at the top of your program, and you're saying to the program, I'm going to use a variable in this program. It's going to be named such and such, in this case temp fare, and you also have to specify what we call a data type. Not all variables are the same. Some variables store numbers, like integer numbers, like the temperature, 212 for example. Some variables might store prices of items, which are not integers. Those have a decimal component. Some variables may store people's names, and so that's a different type of variable. So you have to anticipate the type of data that you're going to use in the program and declare a variable of the appropriate data type. So I have 3 variables in this program. The 2 were in the Small Basic program. I have temp fare and temp cells, which I created as integers. I could have used a different type, one of the decimal types, but we really don't care about half degrees or fraction of degree, so I just chose integer for those data types. A lot of times it's a judgment call on data types, but other times it's not. You could never use integer for money, for example, because money always has a decimal component. Now I just threw this one in. This is a string variable which would store string data such as a goodbye message in this case, or a person's name or something like that. So like I said, you can get away with this for this semester. You can get away without declaring the variables in advance and choosing the appropriate data type. But you can run, but you can't hide. And especially if you continue programming, you're going to be blindsided by this in the next semester. So this is something you will be responsible for, not heavily, but you can expect at least a couple of questions on an exam based on variables and data types. So I am providing a document with a table of some of the common Visual Basic data types. I think that would be a good, all of the languages, Java, C#, Visual Basic, they all have kind of their own data types, but they're all kind of the same. They may be called something subtly different. But since Small Basic is sort of an offshoot of Visual Basic, we'll just focus on the Visual Basic data types when we're talking about this issue. And so I would like you to read this and just kind of have it on hand when you're taking an exam, so that you can answer a question about, what would be an appropriate data type in this particular circumstance versus that.